Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singotoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, drug production a major concern for Defence Ministry. Police identifies body found outside CWM Hospital. And depression to be the next killer disease by 2020.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Drug production and trafficking continues to be a major area of concern that the Ministry of Defence and National Security says they are doing their best to tackle. This was highlighted during the South Pacific Defence Ministers meeting press conference in Nadi today, following a question posed by FBC News on what more could be done to ensure illicit drugs are seized before entering any Pacific country. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The war on drugs will continue to be a security challenge for Fiji. Thus, the Defence Minister is calling on Fijians to come forward with information so they're able to take down these organized crimes.
This is a national security issue, and of course there are other border agencies that are involved, and we have our own national arrangements that do deal with it. But of course, it is a serious concern, and from Defence, we are doing our best.
Recently, 2 foreign nationals were caught trafficking illicit drugs into the country, with one convicted and sentenced to prison, while the other was acquitted. Also, currently before the Lautoka High Court is the case of illicit drugs being allegedly transported through our national airline. The need to also be one step ahead of these criminals was the call made to these defence ministers and chiefs of defence forces.
The region has a really strong tradition of working together with maritime surveillance, with intelligence and information sharing to build up a common picture of the threat environment.
Firstly, we recognise the threat. We work collaboratively together. We cooperate with each other. We share information because this is about the well-being and the safety and security of the Pacific Island family of nations.
Members attending the meeting have also stated that illicit drugs continue to be a major threat in the South Pacific. The meeting ended today. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The investigation into the alleged murder of a New Zealand national who was stabbed and dropped off outside Suva's CWM Hospital continues. The man was Ashkan Farsani, a businessman from Auckland who was involved in taro export. Farsani was married and has a son. He was dropped off in a silver Prius on Wednesday afternoon near the accident and emergency ward. However, attempts to revive him proved unsuccessful. The car that dropped him was later found abandoned in Tadirua. 2 men alleged to be involved in the death of the man continue to be questioned by police. Farsani's family members are calling out for justice to find his killers. Another family member confirmed Farsani graduated as a dentist but saw an opportunity in the taro industry. Police are expected to release more details later. It has been revealed that depression will be the next killer disease by 2020. Lifeline Fiji coordinator Jeremiah Merikula says this was stated in the World Health Organization report. As Sainiani Boiler reports, mental health is a growing issue and needs urgent attention, especially with our youth.
Receiving more than 2,000 calls so far this year from callers requesting mental health counseling, Jeremiah Merikula says Lifeline Fiji is on the forefront to the fight against depression.
As we see, mental health and suicide prevention is important, and that is why Lifeline Fiji, we are trying to combat suicide by raising awareness on the importance of mental health and taking care of your mental well-being.
Merikula says the increasing number of deaths due to depression is a concern.
Suicide is 4 times more than the road death toll. And it's also said that if someone commits suicide, there is 30 times value that people around them will attempt to take their life away also. And in Fiji, every 30 to 6 hours, someone attempts to commit suicide.
While giving out $20,000 to support Lifeline Fiji, Vodafone ATH Foundation says giving the support it can is crucial to saving lives.
Our foundation believes that root cause analysis is important, and if we nip the issues at the bud, it's less costly and less suffering than the pain it is associated with.
Lifeline Fiji has so far received more than 10,000 calls since its inception in 2016, with more than 50% of the callers being men. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
The Fiji Roads Authority says lack of investment on infrastructure over the past decades has led to deteriorating conditions. The authority says they're on the brink of losing the battle with the deterioration of roads, bridges and jetties. Pranita Prakash reports.
The Fiji Roads Authority says due to the lack of the much needed investment in infrastructure, the cost of maintaining roads, bridges and jetties has increased.
Traditionally and generally, a government will invest in the region of 5 to 8% of its GDP in infrastructure. In the round about 2000, 2005, that kind of era, we were looking at investments of around 1% in Fiji, and it's just not enough. And now we're paying the price of that legacy of underinvestment, and this is what happens. Roads fall apart, bridges start to lose their stability, and we have to spend even more money putting them right.
FRA says several $1 billion will be needed to bring the road conditions up to a certain standard.
For the entire country, and to bring it up to international standard, we're talking billions of dollars. But it's not just the billions of dollars it would take. We couldn't do that amount of work in 1 year. We're talking probably 5 to 10 years to bring it up to a standard that is an international recognised standard.
Meanwhile, the FRA says the major pothole issues are in the Central Division. 18 crews have been deployed to carry out pothole repairs as a temporary measure. The major focus being the Suvavo Road, Princess Road, Ratumara and Ratudobi Road, which needs full carriageway repairs. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Still to come, investment laws under review. And 20 craft sellers took part at the FBC's Mother's Day Craft Show. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Oya ubashitsa isa ilambasa, ya ndo talita ino warro nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Buya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warro nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Wana tuma nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere nambua.
Na evengo fani na tao.
Our investment laws are under review to enable Fiji to better respond to the needs of a modern investment climate. Industry and Trade Minister Pramila Kumar, while speaking on the objectives of the review at the Fiji-US Business Council AGM in Suva last night, said that government has engaged the International Finance Corporation and the World Bank Group for this. Ritika Pratap with the details.
While Fiji's investor confidence remains high, the government is still going an extra mile to review the investment policy law.
So we would like to adopt the best global practices and put this legislation in such a way that it serves the purpose.
Pramila Kumar says in addition to this, the ministry is reforming the process of doing business.
We have started working particularly on our building permit process, as well as starting a new business, and we would like to offer those services through digital platform. The work has commenced, and I'm very pleased to say that in June this year, we will be launching the online information portal.
Emphasis is also given to other infrastructure that is critical to luring investors.
The 4-lane road that we are talking about in the Western Division, that will roll out very quickly. The number of jetties are being planned. The work will start very soon in those areas. The airport, Nassori Airport, work will also begin. It's all earmarked.
Fiji is also implementing the World Trade Organization's Trade Facilitation Agreement, which eliminates delays for exporting and importing goods. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Ministry for Environment confirms that they retained 10 tambua out of the 146 repatriated from New Zealand to create awareness on biodiversity. The Permanent Secretary says along with the awareness, they will also carry out research and carbon dating, all part of protecting whales. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Permanent Secretary says there is a need for awareness of whales' tooth in the country.
A whale is a protected species. We ensure whales are not poached or for any of its body parts, of which tambua is one. So how we go about doing that is we go about by raising the awareness.
Meanwhile, Australia had signed the International Convention for the Regulation of Whaling, which does not allow importing of tambua. The Permanent Secretary says the ministry intends to undertake carbon dating process to prove that the tambua were attained before the Anti-Whaling Convention of 1979.
Growingly, countries like Australia are saying that they will not allow tambua, we're not allowed to give tambuas prior to the signing of the convention. So we want to know when the tambua was extracted.
Meanwhile, Australia has signed the convention to ensure proper conservation and development of whale stocks and safeguard future generations. Australia stopped whaling in 1979 and since then has been a global advocate for whale conservation. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Climate change will be the main topic of discussion when the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres visits Fiji next week. UN Resident Coordinator for the Pacific, Sanaka Samarasina, says his visit is specifically in preparation to the lead-up to the Climate Action Summit in September. Samarasina says UN Secretary-General, through his visit, also plans to accelerate actions to implement the Paris Agreement on climate change. The UN Secretary-General will visit New Zealand this Sunday and will be in Fiji next Tuesday and is expected to meet Pacific Island country leaders on Wednesday.
This is a particularly important opportunity to hear for himself, but also to be able to convey messages related to the challenges that countries in the Pacific face as a result of climate change.
20 craft sellers are counting themselves lucky after being selected to be part of the FBC Mother's Day Craft Show at Demorda City in Suva today. Since Mother's Day is just around the corner, it's the best time to help these sellers earn some cash for Sunday's use. FBC Radio Programs Manager Shami Lochin says showcasing their talents to commercial market is vital. Savara Tambor reports.
Items such as flower vase, clothes, shoes and crafts have been showcased, and 8 hours of selling for these women is enough to help them buying something special for Mother's Day.
I'm happy to be part of this showcase because I was planning to buy something for Mom this Sunday.
I have passion for this, I love doing this, and it's a good pastime for me.
I just want to showcase my talent and hopefully will earn enough before it closes tonight.
After positive feedback received from the craft show last year, the FBC decided to extend the hours this year.
It's so amazing to see the creativity and the art, and we encourage families to come down to Demorda City and support the mums. It's a family affair tonight at Demorda City.
Father of two, Brandon Hees, encouraging dads not to miss this event as it showcased a wide range of items that one would best buy for Mom.
A good thing for more fathers to come down to, especially buy clothes for their wives for the special Mother's Day that's coming up this week.
The FBC Mother's Day Craft Show ends at 9 tonight. Sabaira Tambua, FBC News.
Later in sports, Jamie has all the latest on the Global Rapid Rugby match next week. But first, Rachel joins us with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. More attention needed for digital currency policy. And in growing Fiji wireless, the expense coverage to the greater Sava-Savu area. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits. Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outriga, Singatoka.
Gold FM.
Leading business tonight, despite a great deal of electronic transactions within the economy, surrounding policies need more attention. Reserve Bank of Fiji Deputy Governor Esela Masitambua says with the central bank revisiting policies, this could reduce the culture of fear of digital currencies. Digital currency is electronic money, which is like a prepaid cash card. It brings a level of convenience, but safety policies need to be equally satisfactory.
A lot of policy issues that need to be determined, and it's largely driven by country-specific issues, like, of course, costs weigh into it, and like Fiji is a tourism-based industry, so we have to think about tourists that come in.
Digital currencies have risen in prominence since cryptocurrency, forcing central banks to further explore this area.
It has risen to prominence because of technology's ability to transcend geography, to transcend a lot of boundaries and expand the footprint for financial services, so to bring in the financially excluded.
The RBF says exploratory work has been done on digital currencies.
There's a way of doing things easier. It should probably be explored for a country like Fiji developing. It's a possibility to leapfrog.
The ADB is currently working the area of digital currency in the prospect of development, which will assist Fiji in the future. More than 1,000 Fijian workers in the Cook Islands can have their superannuation savings transferred to their Fiji National Provident account upon completion of employment. This follows the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the FNPF and its counterpart from the Cook Islands. Most Fijians in the Cook Islands are employed in the tourism industry, and under the country's legislation, members aren't allowed to access their funds until they are 60.
So with this MOU that we have worked with the Cook Islands, upon the completion of their contract, they can apply to transfer their funds from the Cook Islands to Fiji and to their Fiji FNPF account, which they can then, that means their funds will be administered under the FNPF Act.
And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Global stocks are heading for their worst week since December as the tariff countdown begins in the US. China has said it is prepared to retaliate should these tariffs go into effect tomorrow. Investors are becoming somewhat cautious, resorting to the safe haven Japanese yen and Swiss franc as the Sino-American trade war heats up. Meanwhile, the US trade balance data was released this morning. The report showed that the US trade deficit with China is at a 5-year low of $28.3 billion. This will come as a welcome news to the Trump administration, with America First as their agenda. Elsewhere, the Aussie and Kiwi remain stable as nothing major made headlines overnight. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. Now, the Fiji dollar rose against the Chinese yuan, the US greenback, the Aussie dollar, and the PNG kina. There was some slippage against the Kiwi dollar as well as the euro and the yen. Looking at the commodities market, the price of oil rose today, going just above $62 per barrel. Gold was up as well at $1,284 per ounce, and silver closed down at $14.81 per ounce. And just before going into growing Fiji, the slowdown effect from the global economy has seen the Reserve Bank of Fiji revise the projected growth of the real gross domestic product for 2019. The GDP is now forecast to grow by 2.7%, down from the earlier projection of 3.4%. And in Growing Fiji tonight, Walesi Limited expanded its digital terrestrial TV coverage footprint to the greater Savasavu area. This follows the commissioning of a new transmission site at Navaria, which is within the fringes of Savasavu town. The expansion of the greater Savasavu area is an achievement by Walesi since Savasavu has been a greenfield area in terms of television coverage. To date, the greater Savasavu area had very minimal Tamil TV coverage. The commissioning of this new transmission site in Savusavu has also expanded digital TV coverage to Coral Island. As a result of this expansion, Savusavu residents and its surrounding areas are now able to enjoy 8 local TV channels for free. And that's a wrap on the business desk for this week. Jamie's up next with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports tonight, we hear from the captains ahead of FACT semi-finals tomorrow. And Suva Rugby hopes to maintain unbeaten skipper run. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm a Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Lautoka football side is confident of a good Fiji FACT semi-final performance against Nandi tomorrow. Coach Kamal Swami says they have been training vigorously for the past few days with the aim of winning back the title that's evaded them for far too long. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Coach Swami says as hosts they suffer a lot of pressure to end their 17-year title drought.
The team that has not won since 2002 is another pressure. Plus the 3 opponents that have been coming in this tournament as semi-finalists are top teams.
Nandi football captain Verity Dixon says they're aware that Lautoka will field a strong outfit tomorrow, but they'll not be intimidated by them.
See, Lautoka team is a pretty good team. They much experienced than us Nandi team. They have many young players in the team. The boys are doing well in the pool game, so we are looking forward for the game tomorrow.
But player Sanaila Wangani the Cow says they've been advised by their coach on their game plan ahead of the semi-final.
We are just playing on what we've been taught by both coaches, and whatever has been taught and have been told to us, we'll try and stick to that.
We're just playing hard tomorrow. We're gonna give a wonderful game against Ba. So we're going to make the best team win tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Nandi meets Lautoka in the first Fiji FACT semi-final at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow before Suva takes on Ba at 3:30 in the second semi-final. The final will be played at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Koroi Tandulala, FBC Sports.
Fiji Airways 7's rep Mesulame Kunovula is always welcome to join the Fiji police force if he returns from an overseas contract. This is the assurance from Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiven Ngiliho. With 3 of his officers in the national squad, Ngiliho was at Albert Park earlier this week to show some support for the team. He says as long as he's the Police Commissioner, Kunovula will always have a place in the force. Kunovula was in Scotland 2 months ago to negotiate a long-term contract with the Edinburgh Rugby Club.
Encouraging him if his contract comes by. He's got only a number of years as a rugby player to be able to play top-level rugby. So if a contract comes by, I was encouraging him that he has my support. And if he comes back and I'm still in the Fiji Police Force, I'd take him back in with that experience that he brings and exposure overseas that he has had.
The Swai Shipping Fijian Latui is adapting well ahead of its first Global Rapid Rugby match next week.
It's called a Global Rapid Rugby, so it means it's a fast rugby, and there's a lot of changes in the rules, and it's 35 minutes aside, and there's some rules that you're not allowed to kick from the 22 to go out, and the changes is rolling subs. That's good for us, and it's really fast game.
Defending Skipper Cup champion Suva is hoping for a 3rd straight win in round 3 of the tournament this weekend. The capital side has already accounted for Tai Levu and Nandronga and will face Northland this weekend. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, Nandronga is gunning for its first win following 2 losses. Koroi Tandolala with the details.
Last year's finalist Nandronga is banking on its young players to take them up in the 3rd round of the skipper competition.
We'll work on our game plan and we'll encourage these young boys to step up. And we are going on with our development, but I'm sure that these boys will deliver when they are matured and when they are mentally prepared to come into the bear.
Meanwhile, defending champions captain Penny Rindra says they hope to continue a good performance this weekend.
But we're glad that we step up from our game against Tilebu. We want to satisfy how the game went. And I guess there's still a long way to go for us in this competition.
Defending champion Suva has won both its games so far in the 2019 Skipper Cup competition, and they're hoping to bag a 3rd win when they meet Namosi at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Koroi Tandolala, FBC Sports.
7 to 13-year-olds who love rugby still have a chance to be part of the Super Rugby match between the Chiefs and Crusaders next month. There's only 3 days left before applications close for the Chief 4-day competition. One lucky winner will get to enjoy a day with the Chiefs, accompany the team on game day and place the match ball before kickoff. Application forms are available on the Fiji Sports Council Facebook page. The Chiefs host the Crusaders at NZ Stadium, Suva on the 1st of next month.
So for those of you 7 to 13-year-old children, girls and boys out there, if you want to be the Chief of the Day, I recommend you get onto that form, fill it out and have it submitted to us before Monday. Because come Monday afternoon, that's going to close.
The Blues will look to break their 7-match losing streak when they take on the Hurricanes tonight at Eden Park. That's it from sports tonight. You can join Anna later on with weather and the new media. Check out the 3D printer designed for children to create their own toys. Find out more after the break.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे।
It's weather time now with Anna. It's been a sunny and comfortable cool day across Fiji and promises to be a fine weekend with great conditions for the Fiji Fact final and round 3 of the Skipper Cup, and definitely a good Mother's Day weekend in store as well. Taking a look at the west, a great day for tourists along the Coral Coast with lots of sunshine. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, mainly sunny and breezy throughout today and more of the same in store for tomorrow. And up north, quite comfortable, but expect the possibility of light showers overnight. At sea, winds are generally from the east at 20 to 25 knots, creating rough seas. For the tides, the next high tide at 11:16 p.m., followed by low tide at 5:10 a.m. Sunrise at 6:23. For tomorrow, another mainly sunny, breezy and comfortable day. Tomorrow's temps, most places will be comfortable around 30 degrees. And looking further on to Mother's Day and the Fiji Fact final, a great weekend. And back to you, Jackie. Thanks so much for that, Anna, and happy early Mother's Day to you. In Fiji Impulse tonight, we ask, who do you think will play the final in the Fiji Fact competition?
I think the Bar will gonna win the Fiji Fact this year.
I think Suva will play in the final and will win.
This is the Bar Latoka.
Final will be played between Bar and Latoka.
Recapping the main stories, drug production a major concern for Defence Ministry. Police identifies body found outside CWM Hospital, and depression to be the next killer disease by 2020. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, we're asking, should severe penalties be imposed on those who sell undersized marine species? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, absolutely gorgeous picture of a father plaiting his daughter's hair. before she headed off to school. And this was taken from one of our social media sites. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend, and to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day.
Bula, neva ngomala kay leloma, ngongai nakas ondo magrong ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai sa Ilambasa, ya ondo talita ina warong ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Wala na tunga ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere number 1.
Na vengo fane na tao ne ngo singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Bula FM, number 2 na sere.